Shalom, 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 Yasharal. We are not lost, but scattered. And hey to the Gentiles that are following after Yah's righteousness. I'm King Brittany Chanel. A king is a descendant and a ruler of a divine people. That divine people being Yasharal. And I'm back with another video, okay? So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about I'm going to be talking a little bit about a couple of things. I'm going to be talking about us returning to our true femininity. I'm going to be talking about the being of a wife. I'm going to be talking about how to avoid counterfeits. That's the main topic of this video, really is. I have to talk about all three of those things to get to the point of how to avoid counterfeits, right? So I'm getting a bunch of content sent to me in the so-called Hebrew Israelite community. And I want to talk about that in particular because I don't like I said, it's a lot of people that they openly, like, it has now become trendy to be a so-called Hebrew Israelite. Let me start by stating facts. I am not a part of any organizations, camps, or anything like that. So let me give the basics. This is for, I feel, a message of encouragement for the daughters of Zion and anyone that is new in on their journey to be closer to Yahweh, and they're finding out the truth about things, okay? But I don't like to use in truth. I don't, that trendy lingo that's attached to the so-called Hebrew Israelite movement that they have, that, like I said, there's a lot of counterfeits with that. I don't like attaching those titles. So let me just give you the basics. If you are just getting, you're finding out that you may be a Yasharalite, let me give you the basics. A Yasharalite is a person that descends from the line of Shem. It's Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, right? The sons that follow that are Shem. A Yasharalite is a Northeast African, West Asian, okay? So it is essentially, it's an ethnic group that ties its origins back to the line of Shem. That particular bloodline of people, due to things like us following after other gods, idolatry, and doing things that displease Yahweh, he decided that, okay, you're not going to follow my rules. You're off of my land. You're out of my house. And I'm going to hand you over to the ones that you love so much you want to follow. Because our Elohim is a jealous Elohim. He does not play that. He's not going to compete for your attention with anybody. He is about his relationship with him and his people. It is a forever relationship. So for a season, like any parent would, if you're not following the rules in a house, you're going to have to go do your own thing. So in us doing our own thing, we've been through over 400 years in captivity, under oppression and all kind of stuff that has been going on due to idolatry and things that our forefathers decided to do. Because if you read the Bible, the Torah, and it's not just those 66 books that they tell you it is, you will know that a lot of sins from our forefathers and sins, our personal sins, is why we have gone through all of what we have went through as a people, right? It's not just people not liking you because of a skin complexion and the rest of that they tell you. And also, I just want to reiterate again, you are not a Yasharalite just because you are a so-called BLACK person, okay? You have these camps and people putting out false doctrine that if you're from this place, you're from this place. We are the hidden ones. So the hidden ones is just what that means, hidden ones. The world has taken crafty counsel to conceal the identities of the hidden ones, right? So you'll know truly if you are a Yasharalite, number one, by Yahweh awakening you to the fact. And I'm not talking about just off of no trendy stuff, because you see it's now trendy, and you got people, coming up with these organizations and, developing these communities with this, bizarre doctrine or whatever. I'm talking about being a Yasharalite, like I said, is a bloodline thing. So in your life, you will be going through different things. And like I said, some of the things that you go through, you will go through similar stuff to the ancestor that you descend from if you are a Yasharalite, is what I have noticed. Like if you descend from Judah, there are ancestral sins that people of Judah experienced, and that they have to break those generational curses, because it's all about you repenting for the sins of your forefathers, overcoming and getting a closer relationship with Yahweh so that he can show you the way, right? If you are really a Yasharalite, you know that we follow the way, right? The way is what it truly is, right? Is what Yahweh Shai was trying to get us to see when he was here, okay? So you know that we follow the way. We follow the path of righteousness. It's a narrow path. It's not a lot of people that's on it. With that being said, since there's not a lot of people that's on the path, you know that it's not going to be a bunch of organizations that are going to be in support of the thing. If you see a lot of people go in the opposite direction, that's how you know. Because the world does not love Yahweh. The world is the enemy to Yahweh. So if the world love you, if you got mass communities of people and stuff, that you know that you're probably in the wrong place. Because the world is automatically going to have resistance to the spirit of light, to the spirit of Yahweh, right? Hence why they did what they did to our king, Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai overcame, and he was the sacrifice that was for Yasharal so that we would be free. Okay? So, I hope everybody also is enjoying Passover, or that you enjoy Passover whenever you decided to celebrate it during this New Year time, because if you are Yasharalite, you know that our New Year is during Abib, or what you would call the spring. Okay, when everything is being renewed, restored. Okay, so if you are, like I said, you may have in your spirit the Ruach awakened you to the fact that you are a Yasharalite. Yah will be giving you certain evidences, and I don't mean just when I say evidences, like I said, there will be things that pop out to you. Okay, there are literal people who have proven via their bloodline, via whether it was DNA or they've had testimonials. Like if you go to Africa, there are literally people that are over there now who their ancestor is Eri, their ancestor was Gad, their ancestor came from the Levites, the Limba tribe in particular. That's why I find it so hilarious when some of these group or camp leaders say all these other types of folks that we know, just because, like I said, they have taken crafty counsel. They have told you, oh, Yasharal is lost. We don't know who the folks are. But we know, if you read Torah, these names, when it says this son begat this son begat this son, over there on the continent, there are tribes of people who are still named these things today, after the sons that begat the sons. So that is one way to figure out. Also, like I said, science and things have come a long way. Like if you really think that they don't know genetically who is a Yasharalite and who's not a Yasharalite at this point, they know who it is. Yasharalites too, and I'm not giving the way that I personally look at people and I'm like, okay, yeah, he seems to be a Yasharalite, or she seems to be a Yasharalite, because they have a look, folks. I know that they like to push that mixed multitude doctrine and stuff like that. They have a look, folks. And even when we were in captivity, and it was the fact that some of our oppressors did have access to us, even in captivity, when our princes and princesses and kings and all of that, they were in captivity, the Father kept certain lines, folks. The Father could keep you kept even in chaos. Please understand that he is the king of the universe and the king that is running this show. So if he wants to keep certain bloodlines, I would say untainted, he's able to do so, and he has done so. He has done so. This is why they, like I said, this is why your enemy loves to try to study certain people. Come on. If, like I said, they have these people up here, some of them, within the Yasharalite movement. Like, if you really trying to follow after truth, you know that, like, Yasharalites don't even, that Hebrew BLK stuff, they don't get into that. Because they know what the actual names for the people are. They don't get into calling themselves the name with a J. Come on, we're past that. They know that. Okay? So if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, a lot of our people are still on the continent. Okay? Because you got, and then a lot of people reject the fact that a lot of our people are on the continent. You got some of our people over here in the States, over there in the Caribbean, and I cannot stand when they do the doctrine of, if you Puerto Rican, you're Ephraim. If you're Haitian, you're a Levite. That's false doctrine. Now, is it possible that there are some Yasharalites that are in those places? Absolutely.